First leg of the six up then, race number 5, and we go over the 1400 metres here. It's a Class 4 contest headed by Victory Master. Runner up course and distance last time out behind A Beautiful, the 9-year-old. So Grade 1 broke through for his maiden last start. That's over the 1200 metres, goes up in trip. Let's take it easy. Unlucky last start. Barrier 2, he'll go forward. Hurricane Hunter's first up. Flying Noble beaten favourite last time out. That's behind Grade 1. All the way down to Godspeed. It takes the jump from 1,000 up to 1,400 metres. And Celebration, pretty close to a class drop. He's 0 from 5 so far.
Well, the old 9-year-old Victory Master was able to find the lead last start, and from barrier 6 with Poon aboard, you'd think he'd travel forward. Let's Take It Easy can sort of pressure him a little bit early and then let him go if he wants and take the box seat like he did last start, although he's still in there, I think, at the moment. He couldn't get out. But potentially, I think the map sets up pretty quickly, so good to slower is an accurate assessment for me.
Horse that's strengthened up a lot from last season is this one, Hurricane Hunter. He's looked really good in his track work, and I think he's ready to run a big race. He's only had limited starts last season, 6, and one of his best races was when he went fresh. This is his second gallop, and he was really stretching out nicely, I thought, in this piece of work. Look, I'm going to take a chance with him. I think he's going well, and this is just on the 18th of October, and I really like this track work. I think he's an improved horse from last year. Flying Noble, now Joe Moreira, he went out very short price, Flying Noble last start, behind Grade 1, did run nicely there for second. Come on a little bit for that run as well, so we're showing him.
All right, Moreira rides again from barrier 4 for Dennis Yip. Let's start, though, with Michael Friedman. We've seen this horse, Master Bernini, a little bit earlier on the show. Let's get Michael's thoughts. He's second up for the season.
Michael Master Bernini, this is his second run for you. What was your take on his first run?
Good run. I sort of always thought the 1200 would be a bit short for him, and he drew wide, so we had to ride him back where he was anyway. But I thought he made up some nice ground in the straight, and certainly the 14 will suit him better on Sunday, albeit we've drawn the outside gate again. But I do think, you know, he'll get even further later on.
So go back from that wide gate again?
Yeah, I'll have a chat to Chad, but I'd say we probably would have to just be a bit patient early and give him a chance. If the race sets up for him to really finish on strongly, and well and good, but as I said before, I think he will continue to improve as his races stretch out a bit.
So is he a horse you've got a bit of time for then?
Yeah, you know, he only came to me obviously at the end of last season, and he's always sort of shown me a little bit. But I just think he's one of these young horses that's still learning his trade, and he'll appreciate stretching out a bit further.
Good effort, wasn't it? That was 1,200 metres, up to 14, but again, possibly his future over further again.
I think Michael summed it up perfectly. Looks a horse that with more racing will get better and better and win a few races.
Yeah, and I haven't put him in. I think I'll wait till he gets up to that mile. Yeah. And I think he'll be one. He could be a horse to follow out of this race, because he might hit the line quite nicely.
Good draw would help him as well, probably in the future too. But let's have a look at last start winner. This is Grade 1, Flying Noble in the field as well. A bit of a bump in the closing stage. Don't think it made a difference to the result.
No, I don't think it did either. Grade 1 just took a little while to get out. You can see there he was doing a bit of speed skating there, going backwards and forwards. But when he did get into the clear...
Oh, you in your older days, Paul? Or your younger days?
Older days. Gee, I don't know about that. So, yeah, he's hit the line really nicely, and I think he had the measure of Flying Noble. So of the two, I prefer Grade 1 again. I know the weight's a bit different, but I do prefer him. I think he didn't have all the favours, whereas the other horse did.
Well, Flying Noble was obviously improved. He was 100 to 1 at most of his starts last season, and 2.1 favourite there. Was a good enough effort. I think both horses can be competitive.
Yeah, I'm with you though, Paul. I think Grade 1 should confirm his superiority. Let's Take It Easy. Took it very easy in the closing stages last time out, because there was nowhere to go, unfortunately, for Derek Long.
Spoiler alert here. If you backed Let's Take It Easy, please look away now, because he did not get a run all the way up the straight. No,
he didn't. Calling the race, I had to keep looking back to see whether or not he was going to get it, because I thought when he did get it, he would just fire through. We saw this horse earlier on too. I mean, we haven't seen a great deal of him. He's got plenty of speed. He could even potentially lead this race if he wants, but he went to the line there with a canter. I thought on the day he was a moral beaten. I'm going to make him the best. I think he sits in the same spot. Neil will just make sure he gets into the clear, I think, when they corner in, and he'll be hard to hold out.
Yeah, no, I've got him in as well. I think you have to in the back of that. Got to give him another chance now.
Yeah. There is the old adage about not backing unlucky horses, but you'd say if he got out, he surely would have nearly won there. One more to have a look at, Hurricane Hunter. First up here, so we're seeing him on the training track trialling.
Yeah, one of his best runs was fresh last season, and as I mentioned earlier on, I think he's really strengthened up nicely, and it was a good trial here. It was a very quiet trial, but he's been really well prepared going into this race, and I expect a really good fresh run from him. I think he's going to run really nicely.
I like him as a horse too, Paul. I didn't put him in, but it's interesting they are going to 1,400 metres first up. He's had a solid prep going in. He's one I'm keeping my eye on, but I haven't got him in the tips.
All right, but you've played your hand already, Paul. 7 on top?
Yeah, 7 on top, double figures too, so I think he's a good price, Hurricane Hunter. Now, Godspeed gets up to 1,400 metres. He's caught the eye at over 1,000, over 1,200 as well. He's put on 43 pounds in the off-season, but again, he doesn't look big for it as well, so I think that's a good thing. He'll get back, he'll be thundering home late, and he can almost win this. So he's at a big price as well, so I'm going a bit rough here. Let's Take It Easy, obviously, is the one that was unlucky last time and be tough to beat in Grade 1. Of the two in that race we saw, I put him in for 4th. But 7, 13, 5 and 2, but at the prices, I'd have a chance with Hurricane Hunter, double figures each way.
I like the 7 and the 13. I think they're both going to win soon, but the lack of speed was probably the deciding factor for me. I think Let's Take It Easy potentially could kick through and lead if he steps away well, which I think he might, and then we won't have to worry about any hard luck stories. Or he sits on the back of the speed. There's an option there for Neil. Whatever, I'm going to tip him because I think the pace will be sort of moderate. So him, best of the day, Flying Noble, Grade 1, Noble to Love potentially rolls forward from the 12, sits outside of Let's Take It Easy, or Victory Master can be there in the finish. I'm just going to stay away from the run-ons because I don't think there's any pace. 5, 9, 2, 3, 5 straight out for me.
All right, 490 at the moment. He's second pick in race number 5.